Hi, welcome to Twinventures. Today we are twinning to Six Flags over Georgia. Yes, that's what it's called?
Venturing?
We're inventing.
We're discussing our trip to Six Flags. Which one? What's the title of the Atlanta park?
Over Georgia.
Or over Georgia. Six Flags over
Or Georgia.
Or Georgia. So this is the closest Six Flags to us here in Orlando, so I guess it's what you would call home park, arguably. We went for the first time in November of 2017?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2017. So they have, Six Flags runs on seasons, except Atlanta has a longer season because the weather is warmer. So we were able to purchase season passes there that lasted us all the way up and through the summer.
So what's interesting about the Six Flags passes is that you buy them for one park and they count for all of the parks across the country. So we
most
said
people don't travel to all of the rest of them.
So we said, well, if we're going to be traveling more this next year, why don't we just do this? And if there's a Six Flags near us, that's great. And if not, we went to this one and we'll call it a day.
Yeah. So one of the other reasons that we went ahead and purchased it was it paid for the parking, which really starts to add up. So we got the Six Flags passes. We went in. Their Christmas stuff was up.
Christmas!
Not super extensive, but it was there. Because it was a warm weather park, just about everything was operating, but it was still quiet and not a lot of people there, although it did open late in the day.
Yeah, it was open from 4 to 10, I think.
This was the one we really kind of compared the rest of the Six Flags experiences to.
This one was the best out of all of them, which isn't saying much, but...
Yes. So in terms of setting the bar, it set the bar... What we didn't think was high to start, turned out it was a much better starting point than we could have expected.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of rides that we saw here. We were like, what an original ride! And then we saw them at other Six Flags parks and we were like,
just kidding.
There it is again. Cool.
So, Batman. And we thought that each of the Batman rides were going to be completely different.
We were super impressed with the Batman roller coaster. It was the only one we did twice.
No, that's the one that was the queue.
The queue started in the garden and then went through the
Because this is the one where you went under the bridge thing, and then you were in Gotham City, and that was the one with. So this is the park that had the Batman coaster, which we went on in the daytime and at night. We did it front and back, and the front was much better.
Yes.
Back was jerky as everything.
Harley had a ride, Joker had a ride, the Justice League had a ride.
Not in that area, but yes, the Justice League had a ride.
And was the swings. What was the swings themed to?
It was just Batman villains.
The generic villains.
So the swings were themed to the villains. The Joker ride was one of the ones that goes in a circle and does this thing. And Katie loves those rides, and I did it and was like, can't do this ever.
But we
again.
had we had a really cute kid.
Yeah, the kid with us was really fun.
The kid that got seated next to us was really cute. Harley had a scrambler.
No, it was not a scrambler. It was the strawberries.
Thing. Oh yeah. I don't know how to describe it, but it spun you around. It was great because I love spinny rides. It also felt very in character for Harley.
Yeah.
And then Batman's big coaster. Oh, and the Riddler. Riddler was the other ride in that. That was the Riddler roller coaster.
It was in trees, which was nice.
Yeah.
You know, the first ride that we did, because it kept saying, this is the newest ride, it's the Justice League ride, and it's a shooting game, and it had animatronics. Now the problem
real confusing.
It was very confusing. The setup was really poor, but the animatronics in it were really nice. The biggest issue that I had with it is I don't like when the transitions are rough between screen and physical props and sets. Yeah. And this one was just really
None
bad.
of the edges were smoothed. No. Everything was just...
The screens were blurry too.
Yeah, they weren't clear.
It was a good concept. It just was okay.
One of the weirdest rides in this park, in any park, was Monster Mansion.
Which we'll be getting into a fuller discussion on in another video, but this was
weird.
Oh god, but it was so good. And it's you always go on the weird rides and you go, God, I love how weird this ride was. It's my favorite thing. It's like the Halloween layover for the log flume at Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah.
What a weird ride. And oh man, can I tell you stories about that ride because it was just so good.
So that's really the ride if you're like, I only have time for a limited number of rides. What's the most unique thing in this theme park? I'd say that's the number one most unique ride at that park. And that you can't get that any other Six Flags, any other park in the world, nothing else is going to give you that particular ride experience. Whether or not you enjoy it might be a separate question, but nothing else is giving you that particular ride experience.
So fun fact, Six Flags at one point owned the licensing rights to the Thomas characters. So some of the Six Flags have Thomas-themed areas that are not Thomas-themed anymore.
The theming has been stripped.
It's all like red, white, and blue and American, and you walk by and you see the trains, and it's like, oof. Like,
and the shapes are all super recognizable.
Yes. This is the one where we walked through when we got to go to the stage show at the end of it when they were taking pictures. We got a group picture.
Yes.
And then we ran up to Porky Pig, and nobody knew who Porky Pig was, like, outside of our group. And we were like, Porky Pig! And the character attendant was like, nobody knows who that is. And I was like,
well, here I am.
Like, who even, why are you still licensing these characters then if nobody knows who they are? And you don't know what to do with them.
And we didn't have any particular issues with anybody who worked there, with any, like, there weren't really any situations.
Not for this one, no.
No, that's what I'm saying, like, to set the bar, we didn't have problems with anybody.
So there's also, the area, is it Metropolis? I don't know. The area that Justice League is in.
Superman and, yeah.
So there's like the Superman ride and the Justice League ride in its own area. Like,
separate
up and over the mountain.
Area.
Then there's the Batman area, and then there's like a Justice League area where it's like the Batcopter and the Joker roller coaster, and that's like the fun like
it kept
midway
getting
coaster
like
and
confused.
It just the theming was just kind of like man, we have space, and it's like it was odd. The Batcopter was fun. The Joker Funhouse coaster was really great.
Six Flags ends up feeling like somebody played Roller Coaster Tycoon, and they're just not good at it yet.
No, there was the one that was up and down, and that was this one.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
The Great American Scream Machine. I see the picture. No? That's the one in the back.
No, that's the wooden one in the back.
Goliath? Georgia Scorcher?
Georgia Scorcher was at the front. That wasn't it. Goliath is the one you're talking about.
Okay. This damn ride went like this, and it went around, and it went up and down like this, but it was like really high. Which I don't care about heights, I care about my stomach coming out through my mouth. And that's what it felt like, and I was like, this does not feel comfortable. And there's a difference between that and like a drop tower. There's a huge difference for me with stuff like that, because I don't feel like that on a drop tower. So Six Flags Over Georgia was we had a decent time.
We had a time where we were like, oh, I'm glad we bought the pass, we're gonna keep going around and visiting more Six Flags.
And then we did. And then
we should have just stuck to Georgia.
And Georgia's the only one that we went back to again because we were in the area, but yeah.
Yeah, Georgia was the only repeat visit at the end of the day. Georgia was the first and last park that we visited on the pass.
I'm glad that it was the last one.
Yeah.
And the first one. Because if we ended on a bad one, I would have been real angry.
Yep.
So stay tuned for
the next part.
This nonsense as we continue moving forward with Six Flags Twinventures from Hell. Welcome to Conversations. Today we're talking about Six Flags Over Georgia.
This is not Conversations, this is Twinventures.
Twinventures. There was one ride in particular that I did not like. Is this the one where you hit your head?
No, Chicago's where I hit my head because I was freezing that trip.
Which one? The Twisted Cyclone was the hybrid one.
The one that terrified you and Carolyn was a different trip. No, was she with us for LA?
Yes, because we did the stupid backwards coaster. That was a mess. Yes.
So San Fran's the one that we did alone.
Yes.